We have already implemented implicit styles, which allow us to implement a certain style to all of the elements that the target type defines. Now, what happens if in your design, for some reason, like I said, maybe you want to set some style for the headers, for the labels that are going to be titles, and another style for labels that are going to be body. If these styles are supposed to be applied to all of the elements, how do you make some styles apply to some elements and some styles apply to other elements? Well, we would have to create explicit styles, meaning that they need to be written down or established. In that case, the style would need an identifier. So we can set x:key and set this to be normal button. Save the changes, return to main page.saml, and notice that now the style is gone. It is not applied because this is now an explicit style. If a style has a name, it won't be applied automatically to all of the elements. We would have to establish it. So inside of the button, we would have to write down style, and then inside of the brackets, write static resource, and write the name of the style, which in this case is normal button. And once we have this, the style is back. Normally, you want to have an implicit style and then as many explicit styles as you need. Let's take the example of the labels. Maybe most of the labels are going to be defined in a certain way, have to look a certain way. Then you would define an implicit style without a key. But maybe you also need some labels that are headers and they have to be bigger and bolder. Well, you create a style that maybe is called bold label or title label. And maybe you need some other labels that are supposed to be smaller. Then you create another style for those labels and name it small label. And then as you design your interface, you use the implicit style for most of the labels without needing to establish some style. And then for those labels who do need to be styled to the big font, you set the style explicitly. As we continue on designing our application, we may add some other resources and some more styles inside of the app.saml file so we can reuse these definitions throughout all of the pages. We have already learned how to use SAML, and we have learned how to perform navigation, either from one page to another or between tabs with a tabbed layout. With SAML, we'll learn how to define elements inside of our interface, we'll learn how to change the values for the properties, and we recently learned how to use resources to be able to reuse colors as well as applied styles. In the next section, we're going to focus on C# for those of you who are not very familiar with it, so you can get up to speed and continue defining our application.